just had the 9-pointer come in to 20 yards.
I just fucking smoked him. I just fucking smoked him.
All right, welcome to episode 4 of the Borderland Pursuits podcast. I am Steve Pallas with my fellow co-hosts
Brett Massini.
Sam Stenders.
and we're going to do a part 2 to the Wisconsin rifle recap because we ended up having some excitement on the final day. Episode 3 we were recording the night before the season closer this year, and 2 of us still had our buck tags left with 1 day left to go, so
Because I'm a buckless bitch.
yeah.
I still am.
Bitch. Yeah. And then a little bit later in this episode, we're going to get into some statistics.
Yeah.
Maybe another trivia going.
Yeah, we got some fun things lined up, I think, for this episode.
Yeah.
Trying out some new stuff as we continue to grow.
Yeah.
So
We want to start with how your Sunday went after
Yeah.
driving home Saturday night and getting ready for the closing day.
yeah, so after we did our podcast on Saturday, had a long drive home from your place, kind of thinking about what my game plan was for the last day of rifle season. I knew I still had at that time Crash, TT, and Splitter running around from what I thought anyway, that they were still alive. So wanted to make a game plan on them. We talked about that buck that I missed the night before. So Sunday morning I decided I wasn't going to hunt. Wanted to make sure what was going on with my rifle. Like, I was pretty sure it wasn't me missing 4 times in a row, and got the rifle out and shot that. Tried to shoot it 4 times. I was able to only get one round to go through and fire, and that one was 12 inches left, so that was pretty frustrating to see that. But the other 3 rounds that I brought out just in my woods behind the house here, I couldn't get any of those 3 to chamber, so I'm thinking something's wrong with my hand loads. So I'm gonna be buying some rounds, trying to send those through and see if it's the gun or if it was for sure my hand loads. But so then I decided to take out the old faithful 243, my very first rifle, and I haven't hunted with it in, oh man, I don't know, 12, 13 years, something like that. And got that, shot it, dialed in. It's never been off, and I shot it, and I haven't shot it in like 3 years. I'm like, this thing's on.
Were those hand loads as well?
Those are hand loads as well.
Did you bring more than 4 bullets with you?
I did bring more than 4. I did bring more than 4.
About it for a second.
Yeah, no, I didn't make that same mistake twice. But I was really pumped to end up 3 days after I missed that other buck. I did have him on trail camera, alive and well, unscathed. Like, they couldn't even tell that he was even skinned or nothing. So pretty excited about that. But back to the 243, dialed in, got that all set up. Got out on Sunday evening. Oh shoot, I don't know, 1:30. I think I finally got in the box stand about 1:30, 2 o'clock maybe, and I was like, well, it's the last day. What am I gonna do? Do I hold off and maybe one of these bucks I've been chasing shows up? Do I take one down, put some meat in the freezer? Because I've been having, a couple 4-pointers show up pretty often, and a couple little basket racks and things like that. And after Friday's experience, I was just ready to put one down, really, and get some more meat in the freezer. I was pretty frustrated. And, well, about an hour and a half before dark, I had 9 different deer I could see in the field from the box stand. 3 were bucks, small bucks, but they were all 300 yards out. And after Friday's encounter, I've never 300 and in. I've always said, like, I'm dialed. I can handle that. After Friday, I was like, I ain't risking it. Even though I just shot that rifle in the morning, know it's on, like, wasn't doing it. Came down to about a half hour left of light, and I seen 5 more does step out directly in front of me. I'm like, oh wow. So what was I up to? 14 deer, I think. And I'm seeing out in the field. and the heart's beating on my chest. I'm like, something just get close enough, because I got the doe tag and I got that buck tag. I was like, something please come close. There's half hour left. It wasn't maybe 5 minutes after those 5 does and fawns came out, and Splitter comes out at about 200 yards. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this deer. This is nice. This is a nice northern Wisconsin deer. You guys will see this, and my heart's out of my chest, and I'm trying to get this camera working and stuff. I knock over a camera, try to have my GoPro going, and shit's going sideways. And I'm like, what? I was like a kid in a candy store. My heart's racing through my chest. After Friday's experience, I'm like, oh, I'm going to screw this up again so bad. And well, Splitter comes in to about 100 yards and stops dead in his tracks. And these does are, I don't know, 30 yards from me. They don't have a care in the world. They have no idea that I'm in the box stand. Like, the wind's perfect. Like, no worries in the world. And Splitter stops at about 100 yards directly at me. And I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And it was probably a couple minutes, felt like forever. I like didn't want to pull my phone out to look at the time. I'm like, I know I probably got 15 minutes left of legal light. Like, come on. Time keeps passing. Still standing there, just staring at the box stand or watching these does, whatever he's doing, just wouldn't come any closer. I'm like, Friday's got, like, in my head, like, I don't want to screw this up again. Well, doesn't turn broadside. I said, screw it, I'm shooting him. He's a nice duck. And so I shoot him as he's head on, and I hit his front left shoulder. He took off stumbling away, running, stops broadside. I'm like, well, I'm going to keep firing again. Shot again. Hit him again. He's really stumbling. He runs, stops again. I'm like, damn, where am I hitting him at? Like, now this has got to be me, right? Like,
Friday's replay.
Friday's replay in my brain. Now, like, on Friday, I was slow, hesitant with my shot. Like, I was made sure I was, like, on the shoulder every time I shot. I went in full panic mode. I won't even lie. Like, buck fever got the best of me. Reload again, shoot again. This time he really bolts, and I'm like, well, either I smoked him this time or I don't know. And, well, ended up running across the field in my grandpa's section of woods there, and I'm like, I think he's down. That last shot felt good, and I had more than the 4 rounds with me, but I knew there was only 1 left in the gun at this point. So I reloaded, and I got down, and I went in and talked to my grandpa, and he goes, well, I heard you shoot. Again, multiple times. And he's giving me hell a little bit. He goes, I thought I taught you better than that and everything else. And the way that my grandpa is, he's a stubborn old man, but
He's going to second guess letting you hunt there.
yeah. Yeah. And we waited for my brother to show up, and went out and went right to where he was and found no blood. Found no blood at all. And I'm like, how bad did I screw this up again? Like, last time I had a little faith that it wasn't me because the rifle was off, switch rifles. Now I'm like, no blood at all. Like, you have to be kidding me. Try to do the same thing like Friday night, where just seen where he went in, went there, and did that again on this one. And walk in, I don't know, 3 yards, no blood, but I hear something moving. And I'm like, it's got to be him now. Like, he's dying. I'm like, shit, I better get up there. I went up there and just still trying to pick his head up a little bit, and sent another round through him. And this time it was money shot, from 10 yards away or so. But this all happened, I don't know, there was about 10 minutes of life left. Like, I was in a hurry. Like, I was worried that this deer was getting away from me. He's a big deer. And I had put a bow in my hand. I don't want to rifle hunt anymore, I don't think. Like, after those 2 experiences, I don't know.
Yeah, that's not bad. 8 rounds and 1 deer.
One deer. Yeah. But he's down. He's at the taxidermist right now. I'm really pumped. It's my biggest buck ever with a rifle. Probably it's my second biggest buck ever. but biggest with the rifle. So I was ecstatic. I was
What do you score?
143 and 5/8. That was green score and me doing the scoring. And I'm no,
It's a good deer for northern Wisconsin.
I'm no professional. So, but yeah, I just heart through my chest, just pumped. Last day of rifle season, bottom of the ninth, man. 30
Buzzer
minutes
beater.
left to go. Another buzzer beater like the bow last year, and nothing like it. I don't know if I like rifle hunting though. That was too much.
So are you just gonna wait till like the last day of bow season to go out now? Then
You know, I've been thinking about that. Maybe I should
you're
wait
kind
till
of like a closer.
what is it
Yeah.
like?
Not even by the tag till December 1st.
Yeah, I'm not a starting pitcher
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure,
you're a
but
closer.
I'm a closer.
Well, the closer normally gets it done.
Yeah, I got her done. Just couldn't be more grateful for my grandpa. You know, he's put so much time in with me, teaching me how to hunt over the years, and shooting rifles with him since I was a young kid. You think I'd be better at it, but holy smokes, that was something. I don't know, buck fever, man.
Well, and like we shoot our bows so much throughout the summer too. It's like we don't take that time to go to the rifle range and shoot our guns.
No, I'll say for sure I'm pretty poor about like pull it out of the case, I'll probably send 10 through it, even though I know my first 3 are on or whatever. Or if it's off, you know, I'll get it dialed and send another 5, 6. And but you know, shooting out of the lead sled and even shooting on the blind, like I'm still rested easily. I'm not swaying around and stuff. But I don't know. And I think when you see a 140-inch buck and got all that everything going through your mind, and then what happened a couple nights before, like there's just so many variables, and it just that's deer hunting. But man, is it fun!
Yeah.
Man, is it fun!
Keep coming back.
Did I text you? I think.
Well, no, we were like texting in the group message,
Yeah.
and then like you weren't saying anything.
I think I called you.
Because I think I said something like buck down, or I shot one or something, or
Something like
I could
that.
pull up the message.
yeah, and I don't know. I was freaking out. My brother, if he was here, this would be a good one for him to be on, because he could tell you just showing up to my grandpa's. I'm like, come on, we're going, we're in a hurry here, and no blood again was just devastating. I was shooting the 243, and like I said, I haven't hunted with it in 12, 13 years, so I don't know. Typically, I don't remember what my blood trails looked like before with the 243, but it's a smaller round, and
Yep.
but got to that deer and I shot it to hell, and I felt bad about that, but I was like, I want to put this deer down and get out of its misery as quick as I can.
Yep.
It was like the main thing in my mind, but I hit it all 4 shots, all 3 of them hit it, and one hit the front. The first one, as it was to me, hit the front left shoulder, and I just didn't. I think I one lunged it and didn't get anything to knock it down, but
So I have the text messages here. You just sent us a picture. That's all you sent was the picture of the deer laying in the snow.
oh,
And we're like, did you shoot that? And we're like, is that your deer? Is that Brandon's? Like,
No
whose deer is
context.
that? And then it was like, you sent that at 5:45, and then it wasn't until like 20 or 30 minutes later you actually texted us back. We're like,
so that was
Need
after I
details.
5:45. That'd be after I already got it and got it out, and then taking pics with it, and yeah, that was. Man, deer get me fired up, man. And then just that buck in specific, I only had 3 pictures of it. Never eaten bait, never nothing, just cruising past the camera, middle of the night. So really no history with it, just showed up a few weeks before rifle season and tried to get with the bow, never seen it, and then that happened. I was like, oh.
But your grandpa has one on the wall that looks pretty similar to that exact rack, right? With that splitter on it.
That's mine on the wall that you're talking about.
The one you sent the picture of?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was your grandpa's.
That
buck.
is my 2016 archery buck.
Oh, and it was from the same
Same stand.
Yep.
Yeah.
it's kind of cool.
It is. It's not identical, but it's damn near. It's. I think it's the same genetics for sure.
Yep.
That same split G2, everything almost looks the same. That other one, that other 12 was 6x6. This was 7x5. But that split G2 is just exactly how it's shaped is just way too similar.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about this deer. I'm just so amped. I'm still been, how many weeks has it been now that I'm just living on a high, man?
And we're getting towards the end of the archery season up here, right?
Yeah.
What's the last day?
I think it's January 5th.
Because it's extended for us through the end of January.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe it's January 5th for me.
And what's the action look like on cameras for you right now?
Action on cameras is poor. That one smaller buck that we talked about before on the last podcast, he's still around. Besides that, just your typical forks and spikes. I don't really have a game plan for any properties I have permission for. So I'm going to this weekend put up some more cameras on some public and see if I can find anything.
Give it a good couple last sits.
See if I can find anything really worth it. Otherwise, get some more meat in the freezer, fill my doe tag on some public, and yeah, that's kind of my game plan. I'm tired. It's been a long season with the bow, for sure. But and I'm still kind of living on the high of shoot that with the rifle.
That's the best feeling.
Yeah.
What about Sammy? How was your last day of the rifle season?
I froze. It was like felt like -4, -3 out there that morning. Got out there that morning, kind of the high hopes of just that last swing with the rifle in the hand, and didn't see a single thing. So, I mean, that's hunting. You never know what's going to come in that day, and we had the cameras just kind of shut off not prior, but kind of leading up into the rifles week. But like we talked about on the last podcast, you never know what's going to come in, especially during rifle. So
Yeah.
I was just kind of sitting there that morning, and I had 2 doe tags in my pocket too. So I'm like, if doe comes in, I'll shoot something at that point. But so as for the kind of with the bow for the rest of the year, I'm hoping I can get out, just kind of depending on weekends that we have stuff going on and whatnot. But I'd like to get out at least one last time. So we will see.
Yeah. If you got a little bit of time, get back out there.
Yeah. Have you been out since rifle season at all?
I haven't.
So for plans going forward next year, what are you thinking? Your lease, think you're going to have it again?
Yeah, our plan is to re-sign it for next year. We have a couple ideas. We're going to move some stands around on the property just for wind direction and whatnot. It's our first year on the property, and you learn it. But we're going to put some food plots on the main tractor trails or logging trails just to draw some deer off the main ag fields, kind of get them closer into the timber where we're going to be hunting and whatnot. So, but we're excited for next year and kind of see what that year brings.
Yeah. The younger bucks, you think, have some characteristics, qualities where they're going to grow up into something? Or
I hope so.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It's always next year. It's exciting. God, I love this shit. Steve, you're the buck slayer.
We have some pretty good success this year as a group. We're 3 for 6 on buck tags.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for
Pretty
whitetail.
Yeah, it really is, and some quality deer. Doesn't happen too often where it's that much success. And just from our close friends, I mean, some of them have had
some good years.
Crazy.
Really good, crazy years, and I look forward to talking with them more.
Yep.
Getting to hear their inside scoop on how they're killing these giants.
Yeah. Insane.
Some beauties. So you got some any doe patrol coming up with the bow?
Yeah, got to the end of January. I'd like to get at least 2 does in the freezer.
Yeah.
I think the holiday hunt ends. Oh gosh, it's like the 24th through. I'd have to look at the dates, but I think it's through this. Yeah, through this weekend. At UQ's rifle down there too. I probably won't. I'll probably wait till January and get out there with the bow and try to get a couple down. But still plenty of does moving around at the house. Some smaller bucks popping back in. The 8-pointer I missed before I shot the 9-pointer with the bow, he showed back up. So it's kind of nice that a decent one's shown back up after rifle season.
Now you got to be careful with the antlers falling off and making sure you're shooting a doe and not a buck.
I'll just shoot the small ones.
Yeah, the ones that are really tender.
Yeah. But the cameras at my house, like I haven't seen any of the other big ones on camera in a while. That 8-pointer that showed back up, and then a couple other small 8-pointers, and besides that, I haven't seen the 10-pointer. Not the one that busted the brows off. Neither of those guys been back since rifle season, so it's pretty quiet, but plenty of those showing up.
Well, after the year you had at a new property, dream season,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you just got to be tickled pink either way with the way the year's gone.
Yeah, it gets hard when you're like, fuck, I have to wait till next fall to do another buck take now. But yeah, no, it's fun. Next year, I don't know, maybe find some spots in Minnesota, have as a backup plan.
Yeah.
This year was kind of different, hopping around, kind of unplanned, going from Minnesota to Wisconsin, and selling the Minnesota house, not having that as a spot to hunt because that was pretty prime of a spot. But might have to play the public land game over there.
Yeah.
As a backup or after Wisconsin, but
I'm definitely been talking to some more people, looking at maybe doing the city hunt in Minnesota there, and getting into that game. Or I do have 2 new properties in Minnesota that I got permission for next season, so I'm pretty excited for that, for archery. And then I'd really like to try to go to North Dakota.
Yeah.
Make a trip out there, see if we can do a 5-dayer or something, and see if we can get something on the ground out there. I mean, we've had some friends that have had success, and there's some beautiful deer over there. I'd like to start bouncing around a little bit more, especially starting to really hone in on the properties that I hunt here, kind of knowing their times of the year they're moving more or less. I can kind of think pattern to schedule to go elsewhere to where I'm not missing my hot spots here. So
right.
And it's being smart about your properties that you can hunt too. That comes down to it. It's like you don't want to burn out a single property, and especially like for our lease, it's not a big lease. It's like we got to be smart, and that's where putting extra stands up for wind direction. It's like going in only on one side of the property if the wind is right for that side. It might not be your desired stand location, but hey, you're not bumping deer out of there at that point too.
That's one thing I really focused in on a lot more this year with all of my deer stands, was really trying to be. I've always picked the stand in the past of where have I seen this buck the most and hunted it, even if my wind was maybe marginal, to where this year I went, I'm going to hunt the stand, even if I don't think I'm going to see this deer there, but the wind's best for this stand, this location, because all mine are within, I'd say 600 yards, kind of. It didn't really pan out for me in archery, to be honest, doing it that way, but I think it was just smarter to not put the pressure on the deer so much by really diving in with the bad winds. Still learning. I get too caught up in what I'm seeing on camera and not paying attention to wind direction sometimes.
So we all do it.
Yeah, I think I'm a couple steps behind you because I'm like, this is my stand. I'm gonna see what shows up.
Yeah.
It's worked out for you.
And I mean, it's kind of hard to get away from that. I mean, especially, we're hunting a pretty heavily pressured area where like these deer aren't going to go, they're going to smell you and they're not going to go to you. But if you're hunting an area, and one, you don't know which direction they're coming from every single time either, right? So even if typically you're hunting, say, dead in front of you is where your wind's terrible now today, but those deer might come from behind you. You can still swing around that tree and get them. Like, you want to be smart about it. You don't want to be blowing all your scent into a bedding area if you're hunting close to the bedding area or something. But like, I think sometimes it's way too thought into, way too deep on what you're doing. Sometimes you just got to get out there. Like, the old timers knew their wind direction and stuff, but some of them are out there smoking ciggies and their red flannels and we're killing giants. So, like, let's try and be a little real with where we're going here.
I'd like to try to get a little bit more mobile too. Maybe try some saddle hunting.
Don't say that.
Maybe.
No.
Get something.
All right. I didn't want to get into this today. All right. Episode 4. We are now starting hot takes. My hot takes is saddles are the dumbest thing ever.
That's your opinion?
That's my opinion.
I don't really have an opinion because I've never used one. But from what I hear from people that start to use them is they love them.
I've heard that myself, but you're swinging around a damn tree. What's the difference from hanging a climber? Like, yeah, you're going to be lighter for sure getting in there, but
I heard it makes filming and stuff like that a little bit easier too, but at the same time, probably a little harder because you could shoot at different angles a lot easier too. When
Yeah,
you're kind of swinging around.
I'm not a fan of the saddle idea.
I agree with Brad.
Yeah, I can't get into it. Put me in a hang on, put me in a ladder stand. I love a ladder stand. People hate on a ladder stand.
That's all I've ever used is ladder stands.
Yeah, I love a ladder stand. I'm comfortable. I've never been busted by a mature buck. I mean, I shot a few. And
Have you ever used a climber?
climber? No.
What do you have any setup for being mobile? Like if you want to go hunt in a spot in Minnesota, move around, what's your method there? Are you just hauling around a ladder stand to
Sticks and a hang on.
hang on in the sticks?
Yep.
Okay.
That's as mobile as I'll be.
Yeah.
I recently heard this on another podcast. A ladder stand can be mobile. So whatever you want to
It's
pay
a
haul
fuck-
out.
It's a bitch.
I'm just joking.
However-
So whatever you want to haul in.
Honestly,
How strong you feeling and how quiet you think you can be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down for it. I love a ladder stand. I like being comfy.
Yeah, we could. Hey, hot takes. Brad and I go mobile with the
Yeah.
ladder stand. Steven's in the saddle.
Maybe that's something I'll work on. Maybe that's something I'll work on next
season.
season is getting a good video of me being a mobile hunter with a ladder. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't used a saddle. I've never used a climber. I haven't used a hang on. So I don't have an opinion either way. At this point, it's like the saddles become so popular and everything I hear is good about them. It's like you're kind of interested. But honestly,
You know, I got no hate. I got no hate to anyone trying out whatever's the best method for them at all. Like I'll support that. But the biggest gripe that I have with saddle hunting is saddle hunters truly, because the way this is the way you need to do it. It's the best way. It's the only way, you know, this is the innovation of tomorrow. Like we're the best because we're already doing it.
It's this way or it's no way. It's
Yeah.
like,
And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like when people speak like that. I like my ladder stand. I like a hang on saddle. I can see how it can be super useful in being mobile. Absolutely. Like I'm no idiot. Saddle hunters piss me off
my thing
because
with,
they talk a bunch of fucking smoke.
my thing with the saddle is like I would like to try shooting from one prior to. I don't know how all that would feel.
And everybody I know who has tried them, they set them up in their backyard, practice from like 10 feet, and then they're like, it's a little bit of fucking around, a little bit to get used to. And then once they start using them, they're like, fuck, not going to change now.
And definitely hear stories of people saying that they don't like them, but I'll say you hear more stories of people loving them, and but that's back to me thinking that saddle hunters think that they're cat's ass because they're dangling in a damn tree.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I can't get over the fact of every time I hear somebody talk about it, well, now that I did this, it's the only way, only way to do this.
I think we talked about it on our first podcast. Like we're not right. It's like it's
To each their own.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways that you can go out and hunt. Like,
Yeah.
just go out, enjoy it, do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
And
if you want to sit in a saddle, sit in a saddle.
do what you think is going to make you the most successful. Be safe. That's number one. Like, if you feel safe in a saddle, do that. If you feel safe in a hang on, do that. I feel safest in a ladder. I do that, but I'll hunt a hang on with my harness. You know, like, I don't know. Be safe about it. Do what you think is going to be the best way to ethically kill a whitetail.
Yeah. That's my big thing for next year is I just want to find a way to be more mobile when it comes down to hunting other spots. I don't want to rely on the ladder stand. Like I have the ladder stands at my house. Those are the spots you hunt the most or whatnot. But I want something to be able to go try out a public spot or a different state and something that's going to be a little bit easier that you can keep bouncing around with and that you're going to be able to use for years. Because the ladder stands, I mean, I don't know. I guess one of the ones I've had for like 7 years now. But might be getting close to that expiration date.
Nah, I think it's good.
The ladder stands we have on the lease. They're going in the garbage.
Keep running them, man.
Those ones are only 2 years old, aren't they?
Yeah, they're cheap Chinese junk.
Is it comfy?
No.
See, if it was comfy, I'd say keep it. If it's not comfy, yeah, trade her in for a new
I think
model.
they're pretty comfy. I like the flip up chair. I mean,
I
if
like
you
the flip
angle
up
it right.
to be able to stand.
I mean, I like them. I got 2 of them at my house.
I think we're gonna keep one. I'm gonna get 2 hang-ons for next year.
Yeah. that's when I go, these new permissions I got from Minnesota, it's going to be hang-ons. I want to be able to be more mobile for sure with those properties, not knowing anything about them too, and be a lot more cameras out that way. But
How do you carry them in? Are the hang on? Do you have? Is it kind of one of the systems where it all like snaps together and it's a backpack style deal?
sticks, yeah, they all basically
Yep.
clink together.
Because I've
Goes
seen
on.
like the combo with like the platform and the sticks that kind of mount right to it, and it's a backpack type thing. Is that kind of what you have, or is it like what's?
So I'm running like 3 different brands of everything.
Oh.
Like I got no.
So do you have a backpack or what?
I wear a backpack and then what do I use? Like a bungee cord basically
Mm-hmm.
on my backpack for my sticks, and then same thing for my platform
Okay.
and my seat. And that's how I go in.
I got a Christmas present this year
You did
from the in-laws.
nice.
I got a First Light. What is it called? The transfer pack.
Okay.
And it's specifically made for like whitetail hunting, carrying in
Yeah,
like a hang-on type stand. It has like the spot for it and everything. And
Nice.
I'm, like that kind of inspired me to be like, I need to get more mobile.
yeah.
Sue's telling me something. I need to be a bear hunter.
My
Words I never thought Steven would say.
my in-laws got me in.
He's like, I'm hunting this tree, and this is my tree.
But I got the pack. I'm like, fuck, this thing's awesome. I need to get something where I can move around a little bit more for it.
Yeah. If you want to try out the saddle, try it out. But I don't want to be hearing you. This is the best way ever.
Yeah.
No, but
Do you trust your knots?
yeah. Are you good at tying
I'm pretty
knots?
good with knots.
Yeah.
Do you trust them?
I trust them. I don't trust your knots.
You were
I
never,
trust my knots.
you were never a sailor. Come on.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
damn knots. I tied a knot for myself. I'd be following the tree for sure, man. But that's why I hate saddles.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I want to try something though. Something to be able to move around with, but I do like the ladder stands. I do want to build a box stand at the house next summer though too. Work on that a little bit just to eventually be able to get the kid out there
That'll be
when
fun.
he gets a little older. I've never hunted out of a box stand either, so
You're gonna love it.
I know I need to get a nice lazy boy up there or something.
I got ideas going through my head a couple of days, like, especially like that last Sunday of rifle season when I just completely froze. I was like, you know, what can I do? I'm like looking for like hay wagons that I can get a box stand on or something. So we'll see. It's in the
There's so
works
many
for the
options
years.
that people have come up with that you can look for ideas, inspirations. Like there's some people that have been very creative, and it's awesome. Like
Mhm.
I love the fact that we have YouTube to be able to learn from other hunters and just get all these ideas from.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff.
Right.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah, the town that is closest to our lease, I was driving through there the one day during gun season, and someone had a gravity wagon with like the blind built on top of it. And I was like, that thing is sweet. I almost stopped and talked to him, but I was like, you know what? I'll just keep on driving.
Yeah. Well, I got a really fun idea for us today. Yeah, you guys should really be into this. I want to go into some statistics from Wisconsin whitetail season. I got 2023 and 2024s pulled up here. First off, I want to start with 2023s. And one of the biggest things, like, I was shocked to read. I want to know how many states do you guys think out of staters came from to hunt Wisconsin rifle season? This is 2023. How many different states?
How many different states?
Yeah.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, I think you guys are gonna be shocked at this number, to be honest.
38.
38,
I was gonna say 25 to 30.
25. According to Wisconsin DNR website, all 50 states
What?
I believe that.
people came from.
From Hawaii?
All 50 states, according to the Wisconsin DNR website. How many countries do you think people are from?
I don't even want to know.
6.
Hopefully one.
27. According to the Wisconsin DNR website, we had 27 different countries.
Think about it. It only takes one person to add to that statistic.
Yeah,
It's
but it's incredible.
Does it
I mean,
say what countries?
no, it just says 27 countries.
I'm always amazed by the stat that I think it was Shields posted it this year. Like, if you took all the Wisconsin gun hunters, were what, the 8th largest army in the world. or
Yeah,
something.
militia
Yeah.
in the world. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Like,
it's
that-
crazy.
It's kind of crazy to think about the amount of people that are in the woods. That
Yeah, I'll
week.
be able to tell you here in a second just how many we had this year. Well, 2023 we had 788,000, just about, that were for gun, bow, and crossbow for tags sold.
Wow.
Gun was 434,000.
Wow.
2023. Most people are buying those online, and a third of them are buying them in person. 2023, these are the numbers that were really crazy to me. So specifically, we'll go statewide. 2023 compared to a 5-year average was down 11% in harvests compared to the last 5 years, including that.
They say how many kills that would be for 11%.
It doesn't say how many kills that would be different, but it says that there was, for gun season, 173,942 harvests for 2023.
And that's buck and doe.
Buck and doe.
Correct. Okay.
Bucks were 85,390. Where with the numbers we can pull right now for 2024, we're sitting at 185,893 between both. So our numbers went up a little over 10,000 this year. So my thought was, do you guys think this lack of a winter we had last year helped in that effort?
I would think so.
Where do you think it changed? I mean, that's 12,000 deer, so
There's gonna be less pressure on the deer for the winter. They're gonna have an easier time finding food. They're not dealing with the harsh winters. Like, in my head, that makes sense.
Yeah.
and
What do you think, Brett?
I think the winter definitely had something to do with that aspect into it. I don't want to get too deep into my wolf theories today, but the
Well,
wolves,
we can have a second hot take.
yeah, the wolves are still terrible in Wisconsin, way worse than what people believe. So I'm actually really shocked to see that those numbers are as good as they are. I think that the winter did help in that aspect, that there wasn't probably as many wolf kills, and we were able to harvest more deer as hunters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The deer had an easier time moving around, less
Yeah.
snow. They're not worrying as much as the predators and whatnot.
Archery season so far, we're up to 36,955 harvests, and 23,000 of those have been bucks. So this is my other hot take of the day. I think there should be, just like Minnesota, one buck only a year, no matter the weapon. What do you guys think? From some diehard Wisconsin hunters, as much as that would stink, what do you think it would do differently?
I wouldn't like it.
I wouldn't like it as being a hunter.
I mean,
No.
yeah. You
Um,
shoot say you get your buck tag filled October 5th.
Mm-hmm.
How motivated are you going to be to get out during rifle season in places like, in Douglas County, unless you get a doe tag, then you're just going to be relying on party hunting?
Yeah,
You know? How fun does that make the rest of your season for you?
I think it hurts on the aspect of the deer camp
Yeah.
vibe and the deer camp style, but I think why not go one buck and a doe tag guaranteed for Douglas County?
Think about how many people actually fill a buck tag for bow and rifle. Multiple buck tags.
I certainly didn't this
A
year,
year.
but just looking at
That's what
those
I'm saying.
numbers,
It's not like they're guaranteed numbers, right?
They're
Some
not.
people might fill both, some people might fill none.
yeah,
In the end, it's going to allow you to still hunt more seasons, possibly, in that year. You're going to get more sales into Wisconsin conservation.
absolutely. Now, what if crossbow had its own season and wasn't all of? And no, now if crossbow,
That's the third hot
You're
take.
going too far.
what if crossbow had its own season and it wasn't the entire archery season? You see those numbers, how much they probably skew? Because the archery are crossbow and...
They
Oh,
could
no,
have
that's not crossbow, actually. So crossbow, we're going to have a totally new number.
give crossbow a 1 day season.
So crossbow... Okay, now this is what's crazy.
You gotta say
Crossbows...
sorry to your dad.
Crossbows have now accounted for 60,000 deer killed so far this season, $38,000. So this is where I think my idea of $1 season makes more of an impression, because now you're looking at 60,000 bucks that are killed, not including rifle seasons.
See, and I just have a different point of view on that. I still think you should keep how it is, a bow and a rifle buck, but I don't think anybody should be able to pick up a crossbow. I think Minnesota does it better, right? Mm-hmm. You have to have a disability or be above a certain age or whatever it is to pick up a crossbow.
I absolutely agree.
In
with
Wisconsin, you could be 10 years old if you want to shoot one with a crossbow, which is fine for kids to use them and stuff. I think there should be just some restrictions on it.
I think to get youth into hunting, absolutely, it's a great idea.
Right.
But I don't think a 18-year-old able-bodied woman.
And that's what I'm saying. There should be restrictions. Age.
I
the
agree
youth
with that.
can use it at a certain point. Elderly can use it, and if you're disabled, yeah, but a 20-year-old kid.
You don't think it makes a difference on our buck numbers though between?
I think that makes a big difference on buck numbers, because out of that, what would you say, 38,000?
That's 38,000.
Out of that 38,000
or whatever it was.
38,000 bucks killed. How many of those were from disabled, elderly, or youth? Right. I'd like to see those statistics.
I wish we could.
I would like to see like the $2 too. Like how many people truly shoot $2 a year?
Because I don't really think that number matters that much if you take that away.
Take the crossbows away.
Yeah.
I agree. I still think that almost 60,000 bucks being taken in archery compared to in addition to rifle season, that's a lot of bucks. Where I feel like our buck numbers in Wisconsin are really low for quality deer. I'm trying to think of ideas of how do we get quality deer.
That all comes back now to the preference thing too, right? Some people just want to get out there and shoot a fucking fork and have something in their freezer. You know?
That's where I'm seeing 18 does a night and I have to draw for a doe tag.
Right.
I think our numbers in Wisconsin are a little off on what we're doing with tags.
Mm-hmm. I've heard it on other podcasts that a healthier deer herd actually has a closer buck doe ratio than, say, a higher doe ratio than buck or what. Like you have the numbers have to be closer.
Yeah, they need to be close. Some people say like 1 to 1 or 2 to 1 or whatever. I don't think there's a true science behind that, but I think closer is definitely better.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I love the opportunity aspect behind the $2 tags. It's like if you shoot something early October, you're not going to have a chance to get back out unless you have a doe tag. So I like the opportunity aspect of it, and
I like it for deer camp lifestyle, deer camp vibe, 100%. But diehard hunter is going to hold on to that buck tag, I think, until he's comfortable. Like, I think it's make people be a little bit more picky on what they're shooting. I think is what I'm trying to get at.
I would hate to see the state go to like a point restriction, because I think that would hurt the state greater from what I've kind of heard on some studies and whatnot.
A point preference or nothing like that.
No, like it has to be like a 4-point or a 6-point.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a whole other topic in itself with points and how many people are going to be honest with that. They already worry about how people aren't being honest with you can tag your buck online, you know? How many people aren't being honest in that realm, or how far off are these numbers actually? So I don't know. There's a lot to think about when it comes to the numbers with deer. It's a very interesting topic. The whole topic is a hot topic, I think.
The only thing I have to say is keep the non-resident tags.
Keep those tags going up in price.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'll pay you $200 for my tag.
Well, that is a big thing. Wisconsin is so accessible for out-of-state hunters to be able to join. I mean, we just talked about all 50 states people have come from, where maybe a lot of them are originally from Wisconsin or not. But
and if you think about it, $200 for a non-resident tag is fairly cheap.
Yeah.
Last time I hunted North Dakota, I want to say that was $300-400. Think about our non-resident elk tags. That's what, $890 something like Montana's $1,200 for a combo tag.
Yeah, I think Colorado was $840 or something.
Yeah, $200 for a non-resident archery, then $200 for a non.
And I'm not
rifle
saying
tag
bump
is
it up
cheap.
that much, but because I love the revenue that comes to our state, and I do love the camaraderie of people that I meet from other states. There is some really great hunters that show up and get to talk with, and I mean, with you being from Wisconsin, then moving over there, and like you were as well, like I absolutely guys want you guys to be here and be able to hunt with me still and do that stuff. But I think the prices could go up a little bit. I don't think it needs to be dramatic.
Just raise the crossbow prices.
Yeah, I think that I'd like to go back to crossbows the way it used to be, with need to be disabled or elderly, or put an age restriction so that youth can hunt with them, because I'd love to see the youth getting more into hunting. It's what's going to help us grow as hunters, and just to see this really flourish and continue.
Right.
And I agree. Like the youth, it makes sense. Like you don't want to necessarily get someone younger on a gun. They could get gun shy at that point. They can't draw a bow back. Like, yeah, makes sense for them. Maybe have a cutoff at 12, 13, 14, whatever that age makes sense, where they should be able to start learning how to hunt with a compound bow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's people out there that are smarter than us that can work those numbers, but I think it definitely needs to be said that a lot of people, even people we love, aren't going to agree with our opinions on it. But a lot of people do agree with us that something with it needs to change. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of effort that needs to be put into practicing shooting a crossbow compared to being a efficient archer with a compound or a primitive bow.
Yeah.
You know, that takes effort and practice, and somebody going out there grabbing a crossbow off the shelf and being able to whack one at 80 yards, you know.
And I don't want to say it's easier than a rifle, but in a lot of ways, like, there's no recoil. You're still probably waiting for that deer to get a lot closer than you would with a rifle, to where that shot's going to be pretty much money. So
I kind of thought it was interesting. I went to the archery range right by my house in Minnesota the Friday before Minnesota rifle season opened, and there was 5 or 6 people practicing with their crossbows. I was like, are they hunting in Minnesota? Are they hunting in Wisconsin? Because at that time, it was kind of like that peak time to be in the woods for the rut.
Yeah.
Just kind of interesting, kind of makes you think, like, where are they actually hunting?
Yeah, I'd be curious if, I don't know, do you think they would be all like disabled? Is it that way in Minnesota?
They were, well, in Minnesota, you have to have a disability.
Or above a certain age.
Yeah, or like a doctor's
and these
restriction,
people
I
look
believe.
young and able.
So yeah, they were probably in their mid
I would have to think
20s and 30s.
I would have to think that they'd be probably coming across the border over to Wisconsin and hunting, but you never know.
Or how hard is it to actually get a note from a doctor saying you can't pull a bow back,
or because you can use it during rifle season.
That's kind of what was my other thought, was like,
they just watch too much of The Walking Dead and
they want to go and sling it with the crossbow.
Yeah,
that was my other thought. Are they truly using it for their weapon of choice during the Minnesota rifle season?
Could be, which, props to them if that's what they're going to choose over a rifle, I guess. But all right, I guess, also, you got to think there's a lot of shotgun only zones in Minnesota. So why not use your crossbow that you can shoot 70, 80 yards with comfortably? And
yeah, I've never thought about that, but that's a really good point.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's interesting.
Or just be a man and use your real bow.
Yeah. I full-heartedly agree with it.
Or a woman.
Yeah.
Man or woman.
I don't see the draw to using a crossbow while I'm able to pull back a compound.
I remember this was the year before I bought my compound bow. There was a friend of ours that was selling a Raven crossbow. And I think it was you might have called, and we had talked about, hey, just buy it, give you the opportunity to get in the woods. I was like, no, it's I want to do it with a compound. I want to kind of, because granted, I probably would have bought it and would have been oh, no, I'm never buying compounded. But it's glad I actually went and bought a compound, kind of learned how to shoot it, kind of on the actual process that way.
Yeah.
And just taking the easy way out.
And we know people that are able to pull back a bow who still hunt with a crossbow. And
Mm-hmm.
just like, do they not want to put the time in? Are they like, because everyone learning how to shoot a compound like goes through their own ups and downs and like target panic and everything else. And are they that worried about that? Like not putting the time in to truly be efficient with it? Just, or is it just the fact I can pull this out of the case and just pull the trigger and I just want to kill?
Well, that's what I think it is. It's a big way to cut a corner to get 38,000 bucks killed in
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
it's frustrating to
Yep.
me. I don't know. I'm not a fan. Bring back the old ways of crossbows were for disabled and elderly, and
Yeah.
but I don't know. Got a little off topic with the archery talk, but that's all right. We're having fun.
Yeah.
Hot takes.
Yeah, hot takes, which something that I want to hear from our listeners, our viewers. What do you guys want to hear more from us? We want to hear some questions, some comments. You know, we want to be a lot more engaged with our listeners. Viewer questions would be really fun to read. Talk about with you guys, hear what people have to say. I know we had one person questioning about how you're doing your European mounts and stuff, and like I just thought that little bit of engagement was really fun to have, to go banter back and forth with of different ways to do it, because there's so many different ways you can European mount a deer and
Right.
things like that. You know, we want more of that, and we want to be more involved with the community and the listeners. So it's fun.
We're not professionals by any means, but we're gonna
No, we're
drink beer and tell our thoughts.
we're sitting here in the basement bar, and you know, we just love bullshitting about deer and the outdoors in general. But you know, we're hooked on deer right now. But you know, we want to hear more about what everyone else has to think, say, ask us some questions, follow us on the socials. Come on, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Steve?
I don't know. I think we have some exciting stuff coming up. Pretty excited for 2025.
Yeah, do we want to get into too much right now?
I think we'll do a different video for that.
Different video for now.
Yeah.
All right, so stay tuned. Some big things coming in 2025. Stevie's gonna wrap us up, but smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us along on Spotify, Apple. Come on now, we're having fun. Borderland Pursuits.
Thanks for listening or watching.
Catch you next time.